So this lecture will be on just about the R software mainly. So I'm going to down R software. This is an open source software, and we will use it throughout the course. So the course, essentially, I'd like to sort of begin with the course. The course, as you will see, the course will involve solving problems and illustrate an approach how to solve problems in an abstract mathematical framework, right? So the course will illustrate. Let me do those. So we will see throughout the course the general approach to solve a problem in probability and statistics. And place them in an abstract framework, right? And place them. Abstract mathematical framework. Very good. So now let me move this across a little bit. So now, of course, now I want to introduce you. So typically, what will happen if you're in a course, let's say in a math class, in a mathematics class, or a engineering class, or whatever, many computations one will do with a calculator, because you can't do it in the head. You'll use a calculator, or nowadays a phone calculator or a computer or something like that. You will use that. That's what. But of course, in a probability class, you may require there may be a requirement to do more sophisticated computations. So for powerful computations, which we will see in this class, we will introduce a software called R. So we will introduce R. So we will introduce and use R. So let's say we will use a software called R. So R is free. So here are some properties of R. R is freely available. No money is required to use R, unless, of course, you need a device. It's available on all devices. For example, you can do it on the phone, you can do it on an iPad, you can do it on a tablet, you can do it on a computer, etc., etc. So it's available on all devices, and there are various routes to installation. So various installation. So one has to sort of sit and deal with it and decide what is the best possible installation for you. That I will let you decide. Today I will show you a particular thing that does not require installation. Okay, so today what we'll see is let me go down a little bit. Today we will see how to work with Rstudio Cloud. So there's a cloud server where R is already there, and the Rstudio software already is there. So sorry about that. and I'll try and let you know how to play with this, right? So this is so what we'll do is essentially we'll try and play with R on the cloud. So it's called Rstudio Cloud. That's what I will do today. Okay. I will not do. So I will also show you how to install R on your own machine, but that I will not go into depth. That I will let you sort of work with yourself, and we will do some simple R computations. So. Very good. Okay, let's try and start that process. So the first thing you will do is you will just open a browser. So here there's in this machine there's Chrome. So I'll open Chrome. So I'll open Chrome. Let me open Chrome. Chrome is there. Then let me open my keypad. So here I'll just type in first Rstudio Cloud. Okay. So if I type in Google, then you'll see here immediately here that there's an Rstudio Cloud that comes in. So you can click on Rstudio Cloud. So you click on that. Very nice. It comes there. So then the Studio Cloud server comes in. So it explains many things about the cloud server, how to buy and not buy, what free services available, and so on and so forth. So typically you need an account. So I already have an account. So you can sign up, but I will not sign up today. I will log into my account. I already signed up. So and signing up is free. There's no money involved. So then my account number name is this, and I'll continue. I'll type my password. Hopefully my password remember. Let's see what happens. Log in. So once you log in, you will see it'll come to this page. Let it load up. It comes to this page, right? So my name is there, and I know it's picked up a mugshot from before. I guess I'm not sure. So these are my previous projects. So let's not worry about them. So what I will do is I will create a new space for myself. So let's say I'll create a new space. So let me just call it NPTEL probability class. NPTEL probability 1. That's what I'm going to create a space. You can also create the same space for yourself. Probability 1. I created. So let me create. So they allow you to create one space for free. So you can create a space for free. There's no problem. So once the space is created, there are several things here: project, members, usage, about. So I will let you figure out about by yourself and usage by yourself. But I will tell you what I would do first thing. So first thing I will do is I will create in this workspace. I will create a project. So let's say I create a new project. So let me just call it new Rstudio project, and then it'll ask me for a name here. I'll go here. So today's what we're going to do is R calculations, right? R calculations. So I'm going to so R calculations and initial learning. That's initial. So that's the space I'm creating. So it'll create a space. Once you create a space, it will open up this is called an Rstudio space. So it has a console, it has a terminal, it has jobs that are running, it has various files you can save, and so on and so forth. I will not go into details of all these things. I'll let you play with it as the course goes along. So this is the basic setup. Okay. So first let's go write it down in the sheet. Let me go back to the sheet. So what all did we do? Let me go down here. Next page. Let me go down here. Very good. So step 1. So let me go down here. Step 1. So you open browser on phone. So on anything, let's say phone. It can be phone. Sorry about that. I don't want to use too many colors. On phone, on any device, computer, tablet, computer, etc. Right? Once you open the browser, you either use the internet search and you go to Rstudio Cloud. Right? You search for Rstudio Cloud. Okay, that's what you do. Very good. So once you do that, step 2 is you sign up. Sorry about that. Pen is there. Very good. So we come here. Step 2, you sign up. So what I did was I signed up. I sign up, and create a free account. You can also buy if you're doing more and more R work as the course progresses. But for this course, a free account is more than enough. There's no problem. Then step 3, what you can do is you create a workspace. So today I created a workspace called NPTEL probability 1. Right? That's what I created space. That's what I created. Right? Today I created that space. I think that's what I called it. Let me see what I called it. Let me go to the browser again. I called it NPTEL-probability-1. So let me get the correct spelling. Let me go here. Let me erase the whole thing. So I called it. Let's say NPTEL. Oh, sorry. I called it NPTEL-prob. You can call it anything you want to call it. There's no problem. Right, very good. And step 4. Step 4 is that in that thing you create a project. So you can create projects. I think you can create up to 50 projects for free. But so today I created a project. So today a project I created was R calculation. I think what did I call it? Let me go back and see what I called it. Go to the browser again. I called it R calculations initial. Let me go back here. I called it R calculations initial. Very good. So now this is done. So now once this is done, we're on our way now. We can start doing simple calculations in R. Okay. So like R is a big software. So R has the sort of architecture of R is very, very complicated. So I will not go into that. Let me come down. So if you ask many people about R, each of them will say different things. So it means different things to different people. Depending on the usage, everybody's view on R will be different. So it means different things to different people. So we will you have to develop your own view of R and how to work with it, and so as you progress into the software. It's a free software, so there's sort of less technical support. So you have to learn how to use the packages yourself, how to access the help menu, and so on and so forth, which I'll tell you today. So what today I would like to emphasize is that we will try to emphasize the notion as a very, today's idea is that we will try to view it as a very powerful calculator. So that's the first view I will present towards you. Okay. So let's try and do that. Let's try and do that slowly. So let's try and go. I encourage you to do the works, set up this whole thing before you start the next part of the video. So this whole process of setting up this NPTEL probability workspace and the R calculation initial project and so on and so forth. And of course, before that, the sign up into your own account and get your own space on the cloud. So once we do that, you come to this particular setup like I have here, right? The screen I have here. So let's try and do a simple calculation. So first thing to note is that R will start in the console with a sort of a help menu like this, gives you a description of what R is about. It's a collaborative project with many contributors. So let's try and type in contributors who are contributing to R. Contributors, if you type contributors, a list of people will come, and the information comes at the top, right? So for example, if you look at the contributors, there's several people here who are contributing. There's one name called Deepayan Sarkar. You can Google him. He's at IISI Delhi. He has also a lot of tutorials on R. You can take a look at that. Okay, let's just do that. Let's just come back here. Let me close the information. Let me click on this. It goes away. Hopefully, it doesn't go. Let me go to the mouse. Click on it. It'll go away. It'll come back here. Okay. So now let's do some simple computations. Okay. So let's do 3 by 5. So this 3 by 5. I'll type in 3 by 5. Go here. 3 by 5. 3 by 5, you can think about what the answer should be, and then you enter. Right? So answer comes 0.6, which is exactly what you expect, right? 3 by 5 is 0.6. So what happens? So one thing to think about is that R gives you to start off with. Let's go back to the notes. So first thing you notice that let me write all the R code in a certain color. Which color should I choose? Maybe I'll choose the black color. So R computations always the console begins with a greater sign, right? So the greater than sign is So let me erase this. So you present it with a prompt that looks like greater than sign. So the R prompt in console to start is with a greater than sign. Right, that's good. So that's the first thing. Then what I did was I did this. Then the first thing I did was I said, okay, fine. I did 3 by 5. I had 3 by 5, and then R prompted out with something like this 1 and then 0.6. That's what R gave, right? So we'll try and come to what this 1 and 0.6 in a second. So let me go. That's 3 by 5. That's easy to do. Let's go back to the computation R. So let's do something else. Let's do something like multiplication. Let's say like 4 into 64 into let's say 7986. It'll do that. So stop the thing down, and then you enter it. You press enter again. Then out pops a number with again the same one. So one gives very nice. So you can also do simple things like logarithms, for example, logarithm of let's say maybe 5, and also it'll give you completions as you progress. So 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say you want to do that. You enter it, out pops a log. Log is 10 points. Right? That's quite good, right? And then let's say you do a number, let's say log of let's say 0.8. So point less than 1. So log should be negative. Let's see if it comes out correctly, and it does come out negative. Very nice. Very cool. So one thing is that let's try and examine what is this meaning of 1. So the meaning of 1 is something that we should understand properly. So it is designed mainly for statistical computations. See, R stores everything like a vector. So let's just write that down. So let's write that down. Let me go back here. So what does this 1 mean? So what does this 1 mean? What is this 1? The meaning of this 1. So let me try and explain that to you. So it's little odd to see 1, but there's a good reason for 1. There's a good reason for 1. There's a good reason for this display in the answer. It's mainly for probability and statistics. So we will see that. We'll see the use of that as we go along. It's for a good reason. And it's designed for statistical computation because you work with a collection of numbers, and 1 represents the position. Okay, so typically in statistics, let's say in applications, I won't say statistics. In many applications like statistics, many mathematics, one works with vectors. Write that down. Let me go back another page. Let's say. Let me go back up a little bit. One works with vectors. And it is useful to know the position. So it's the position of the vector. So let's just see that immediately. Let's go back here. So let's say I want to create a sequence of 100 elements. Let's say so that you can do by saying x equal to let's say 1 is to 100. It'll create a vector. Let's say 1 is to 100. Let's do that. Let's do that, and then it'll create a number. It'll create elements of 1 to 100. So with distance 1, that's what the 1 is to 100 does. And then you'll see now, see the 27th here, the 27th position, 53, 57, and 79, 79 position. So these numbers, the square brackets, give the position of the vectors from 1 to 100. So that's what that 1 does. Okay. R works very, very well with vectors. So let's try and do that. So the way you specify a vector is you specify a vector by putting a column vector. So C is for column. And then let's say 1, 2, let's say 5, let's say 6, and then let's say 85, and that's the vector. So that's C. So that if you do that, you get the vector C. So it'll give the vector as a column vector 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, 9. Very nice. So it's the number. So now what you can do is you can also use the up and down arrow on the keyboard, so that you can just go up and down. You can recall the previous ones with the up arrow and come down with the down arrow. And then let's say I want to square every element. So R has a nice vectorization tool. You can just multiply this by 2, put to power 2, that means it will square every element. So let's see. So you get 1, 4, 25, 36, and some huge number. And that's exactly what you get, 1, 4, 25. Very nice. So and then what you can also do is, let's say you want to compute the sum of all these things, right? So you can go back up to the same thing. You can just go there. You can just go right here, sum of this, and then come here, and then enter it. Then, wow, 79. Very nice. So all it's doing is it's adding 1 plus 4 plus 20. You can just check the answer. 1 plus 4 plus 25 plus 36 plus 7921. That's the same as 7987. Very nice. So the C vector is a construct to create a vector containing whatever integers you place them, right? That's important. So let's go back here. Let's go back here. So this is the one computation is this. So we have seen how to do addition. So all the operations are, let's do the operations here. So operations here, yeah. So addition is plus, multiplication is star, division is a slash, and then subtraction is subtraction. Right? So no problem. So this is like usual operators in R. Addition, multiplication, division, subtraction. Very good. So that's the set of basic operations we've seen so far. The next thing we've seen today is the following. We use the C construct. So the C construct is C, let's say 1, 2, 4, 5, and 89. So this is the construct that creates a vector with elements 1, 2, 4, 5, and 89. Right? That's the vector it creates. Right? So that's the vector it creates. Then we can also do the following. We use R uses this tool called vectorization. So let's call it vectorization. So by this I mean that if you go and square this vector, you will get the same. If you go and square it, you will get the square of each element. It goes element by element square. Right? So we'll go to copy. Come on, let's go copy. Okay, let's see the mouse works. Okay, very nice. Let me go copy. Let me come here. Paste it. Very nice. Paste it right here. Very good. So if I go and do square, it squares every element. It squares every element. Right? And then we also did the sum. It's this tool called sum of the above, right? And then it just sums up all the elements. Very good. Then the other thing we also saw was that if you want to create a vector, you can use the construct command like this, but then you have to specify every element. To do automatically, we also said that we could use 1:100, or it just creates a vector from 1 to 100 with spacing 1. Spacing 1. Right? Then it will create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So then you could also play with m is to n. It will create a vector from m to n and so on, of integers and so on and so forth. Right? So, and it also you can do many things. You can assign variables to the vectors. It's useful to do that. Let's just do that. Let's come back. So let's do variables. Let's come down here. It's sometimes useful, otherwise you have to carry this again. So what you could do is you could assign variables. So the way you do that is you let x be something. Let's say you say x. So the usual notation is you can use x equal to, let's say, C1357. That means the vector x is 1357. Or you could use the arrow symbol. So that symbol is x. I think let me just check x like this. X is assigned as 1 is to, let's say, let me put y is to, let's say y is, let me do a different one. Let me do y is, let's say 2 is to 55. Okay, so let's try and do that. Let's try and do what happens. Let's see. Let's go back to the Rstudio. Let's write here. The cloud is still there. So let's say x is equal to, let's say, c of 1, 3, 5 is what I said. If I do that, that will store as x. So if I type in x, it'll give me 135. That's it. Then I did this y is equal to 2 is to 55. That's 2. And then if I type in y, it'll give me all the elements. So the 1 is that the first element of y is 2, the 37th element is 38, and so on and so forth. That's one way. Very nice. And then I can do vectorization. I can do x squared. It'll give me all the elements of x whole squared. If I do y equal y to the power, let's say 9, it'll just give all elements of y to the power 10. Right? So very nice. So now we can do many meaningful calculations, right? So we can do maybe sum of y to the 9. It'll give you a nice y to the 3, let's say. So it'll cube every element of y and sum them up. It'll give you an answer. So this R is very, very powerful. So now we can even do product, let's say product of all y, let's say product of y. It'll just multiply every element in y. It'll give you an answer. It's a huge number. Right. So now let's try and do something that we do in probability a lot. So let's try and do, let's say, so assign variables. So let's try and do some complicated calculation. Let's do some calculation. So suppose I do, let's say, I want to do, let's say 20 choose k, choose 5, let's say 20 choose 5, let's say, in R. Suppose I want to 20 choose 5. So what is that going to be? That's going to be 20 factorial, right, divided by 5 factorial and 15 factorial. That's one way of doing it. Or you could also, if you do it in your mind, you can sort of say that, okay, fine, you'll do 20 into 19 into blah blah, all the way till all the way 18 into 17 into 16, I think, and that's it, divided by 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. This is how you do it, right? This is one way of doing it. So you could either do the simplified one or you could directly one. So let's try and do this in R. Let's try and do many ways of doing this in R. Okay, let's try and do it. So how does one do this? Let's say, let's go here. Let's see if R can do it. So what do you do first now? First, your 20 factorial. So 20 factorial is what? Is a multiplying numbers from 1 to 20, right? So let's say, let's do numerator is equal to, I'm assigning the element numerator to, sorry, if you enter it by mistake, it'll come plus. You can enter the command now. So what I want to do, I want to multiply 1 to 20, right? So 1 is to 20. I'll do that, right? So that's the numerator. Denominator is what now? Denominator is what I want to do. I want to say it is 5 factorial. That is, I put product of 1 is to 5, right? I do that. Then I multiply that by product of 15 factorial. That's 1 is to 15, right? That's what it's going to be. So I enter this thing. That's denominator, right? So then the answer is, what I want is, so I'll just call it 20. I'll use the 20 choose 5 is what I want to do as numerator by denominator. That's what I have as the answer. So if I enter that, I'll get this. So it says 20 choose 5 is a mistake, is the unexpected symbol is coming, or maybe it doesn't like the name for it. Okay, variables I can't use name, so I should use that's a good point. So I made an error. So it's, let's say I'll just 20 choose 5. T choose 5 is this. Let's do that, and then let's say for TCF, that's the answer is exactly that's the answer, 15504. And you can also do the other way we did. So you can do like N1 is equal to, let's say, product of 20 is to 16. That's the first top. And then the bottom is D1 is equal to product of 1 is to 5. That's the 5 factor of the bottom. And then you do N1, TCF1, T choose another method 1 is going to be equal to N1 by D1. And if I've done it correctly, I should get the same answer. Let's see if I get it. Very nice, same answer again. So I've told you how to do these both computations like this. Very nice. So, but R has a inbuilt function. So this is one way of doing it. So one way is, so let me go back here. So one way to do this whole calculation, like we said, was to use. So here you could do this in R. You could do this in R by doing, you do prod. So let me do R. How to do black, right? R is all black. So let me go black. So in R, what you do, you do it as prod of 1 is to 20, sorry, 1 is to 20, that's the numerator, and the whole thing divided by a prod of 1:5 star prod of 1:15. That's one way of doing it. Or the other way of doing it was you came here, we said, okay, no, we don't do that, we do something like that. We do prod of 16:20, 20 divided by prod of 1:5. So they both give you the same answer. Now, this is one way of doing it. So you yourself simplify the computation, write out the multiplication division, and put it in R, and gives you the answer. Very nice. But now what we'll do is R has an inbuilt function. So let's call this inbuilt function. Let's call this inbuilt functions. So the function is called choose. So let's go choose. Let's do all this black. So R has a function called choose. So choose with some various commands, various arguments. You can put various arguments in choose. So there are various arguments. So let me erase that. Let me go back. So choose has various arguments. So let's try and learn the arguments. To choose C, we can do 20 choose 5 in R. Okay. So let's go back to R. So how do you do? So how do you find out? You can use the help command. So you do help of choose. If you type that, right, it'll give you. You enter it, and then out will pop a help command on the right hand side. In this thing, help command. Right. Let's just see. Help choose is not coming. What's coming now? Something else is coming. Let's see. Some of the thing is coming. It's not the actual. Okay, I have to go here and type in choose. I guess. Let's see. Choose command. Let me see if choose comes. Right. It says usage. This is not exactly. Right. Choose comes here. They keep going down. Choose of 5, 2 is 5 choose 2. Right. So let's just do that. Let's come here. Let's close this. How do I close this? Let's see. Let's clean this up. Okay. Come here. We do choose of 20, 5. That's it. And enter it. It'll come. Wait, the same answer as well before. Very nice. So you can also do question mark choose. It should give you the exact choose command. Exactly what the choose command is. And it also has factorial, L factorial, and so on and so forth. You can play with it and see how to create sequences. It tells you as well. You can do these things. Very nice. So question mark and help are the ways to find things about commands in R. So you can choose. You can do either. You can check it by doing question mark choose or question mark or help choose. To find out things about R. Very nice. So of course this is a little misnomer I wrote here, so it's no problem. Very nice. Okay, very good. So this is one way of doing this. The other thing also you can do is the following in R is you can use vectorization, right? So you can vectorization. For example, let's say how did so choose 200, 5 is only one guy. So let's say you can combine this with vectorization. Let's say we combine with vectorization. So let's say I want to do the following. I'm interested in doing 20 choose 5, 20 choose 4, 20 choose 3, 20 choose 2, and 20 choose 1. I want to do all this in one shot. I don't want to keep on writing the code again. So I could do the same thing. So what I could do here is I could go to R, right? I could just say choose. So it's not coming. I could just say choose. I could just say 20, right? 20, 20 is the one, and the other one I want to choose a vector, right? So vector is from 0 is to 5. Let's say 0 is to 5. Right? So enter this. It'll give me all the commands. So it'll start from 20 choose 0 is 1, 20 choose 1 is 20, 2 is 190, and so on and so forth. So you can do the same thing. So you can use the vectorization as well. So 20 choose 0 also I have here. So it gave you 1, it gave you 20, and so on and so forth. So any inbuilt command you can use vectorization to also give you the so you have to use the command is choose 20 and then you put 0:5. It'll give you all the entire vector, right? Okay, it didn't come out black. That's okay. Very nice. So you can do the same thing for other thing. You can try. So some exercise I can give you a try. You can try. You can go ahead and try how to do. Let's say you can try exercises here. Let's say. So I'll give exercises. Let's say to try. Let's say play with functions. Let's say exponential or logarithm, etc. You can play with that, and then I'll let you play with that. You can just do. You can go to R and type these things down, and then sort of play with it. Very nice. Very good. No, sorry about that. Maybe I wanted black. You can play with these things, see what comes out of it. It's quite nice to see. You can do it by yourself and try and see how to sort of get these things done. So I'll give you a homework this week. You can play with these. There are other functions in the homework. You can go play with it in R. And let's see, last thing to do in the Rstudio is that once you finish this, you can just save your space. You can just go here. You can just say file. You can go file. You can just say, it'll just save it. It's saved. Save all. Save it. It's saved in that same workspace. So always this project will always be there. You can come back to it and see the whole thing. So later on, you open this. All this will come out in that thing. So I'll just close this thing. I'll log out, and then I'm done. Very good. Why is it not logging out? Not logging out. Very good. So the last thing, I'll conclude this lecture by other ways. Let's say you don't want to work on the cloud. You can install R. All you have to do is type in R installation on any internet searches if you like. Here I'm using Google, but you can do whatever you want. So then if you go to the CRAN R project page, it'll tell you how to install R. So you just go there, click on it, I'll recognize, and then it can give you how to install R on Windows. You install latest version in your own machine, you can do that. And then that's the basic software for R. And then you may want, what I'm working on is Rstudio. So you can go to Rstudio installation. That'll come here. And then once you can download the Rstudio IDE. You can click on that, and then you can go there, and then it'll help you how to download Rstudio IDE. So you download both these things on your own machine or own device. I don't think this can be done on the phone. On the phone, you have to do Rstudio Cloud. On the pad, also, you do Rstudio Cloud, perhaps. But on any computer, you can download Rstudio. The internet's taking some time here. Let's just wait. Hopefully, it'll come. Then see. Yeah, it's come. So you can download your version you want. The free version is there. There are paid versions as well. And then I would just download the free version. And then R is, of course, free. Software is, of course, free. You can work on a console if you don't work on a studio. And that's the basic R setup. Okay. Thank you very much.